I was making this quick little live this morning to answer, like, for anybody that has like any questions as far as like getting into truck driving and trying to get into quick, because I done had a few people hit me up in the DM asking how can they get their CDL quick, how they can get started quick, what some of the best companies to go to, like, and I made videos before in the past, but I don't know the names of them. I don't forgot they old videos. So I'm just gonna make this quick little live or whatever for Facebook. I'm out commute to work, and possibly even put it on my YouTube channel, depending on how I feel about the content. As far as like if it was what I felt like was the best answers I could give for y'all, because I started truck driving back in 2014. I've been driving for 10 years, and so I know things have changed, but I don't know how the process, like how lengthy the process is now. I know back in 2014 when I started truck driving, it took you at least a month, and I'll give you the breakdown of how that went. I was working at Honda Lot Precision out there in Bremen. Damn, you gonna run me over here in my leg? Y'all didn't see that? No, y'all didn't see that shit. Look, you done knocked my tripod over. Anyway, my bad. I look over in my lane. So, I guess I'm gonna have to hold the tripod a little bit, because I got this nigga rigged in here, so I can so my phone can be up, so I can drive. Georgia's a hand-free state. So, when I started back in 2014. All right, just to get back caught up with what I was talking about. I started back in 2014. I was working at Honda Precision out there in Bremen, the Honda Lot Precision plant out there in Bremen. I ended up leaving there because it just wasn't working for me. I got tired of the warehouse. I didn't want to deal with the warehouse anymore. And so I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And one of the main things I've always wanted to do ever since I was young, ever since I was a kid, ever since I can remember, as far as like what it was, like what an 18-wheeler was I always wanted to drive a truck. So I had a fear of leaving Georgia because I ain't never really went nowhere other than Florida or any other, like some Alabama, Mississippi. I think the furthest I had been when I was young is went to go when my cousin Tony was out in the service, and we had to cross over to Oklahoma. I vaguely remember that. I remember it was really hot and bright, and it is still since the last time I've been out there. But anywho, I haven't been anywhere, so I was kind of afraid to leave outside of Georgia and really pick up that fear and go do anything. Well, I called Swift after picking it, because I was like, what else do I have to lose? I don't have anything else to lose. I might as well start my life somewhere. I got to start somewhere, and I feel like the money I've been making ever since I was an adult, still kinda, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna get to that part, but the money I've been making since I was an adult, I'm like, damn, it's something going on. It's something going on, something wrong, and I'm a hard worker. I put 110% in everything that I do. But I'm like, damn, like, what the hell is going on? Why my checks ain't reflecting? I'm staying overtime. I'm doing all this extra. You talking about people mandating, people got the, when I was working in the plant, you talking about mandating people to work overtime and stuff like that, and still checks not reflecting. Like, it's really hard out here to survive. And just because you got a career don't mean it's gonna be no easier. Like, that's just point blank period. But anywho, I'll get to that point in just a minute. But what I'm saying is, when I decided to go ahead and leave the warehouse, truck driving is one of the best decisions I ever made. I just put it out there, truck driving is one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I enjoy doing what I do. If you don't enjoy doing what you're doing, you're going to have a hard time doing it. I ain't going to lie, sometimes I'll be dragging my feet getting up out of the bed in the morning trying to go to work, like anybody else, I'm sure. Don't be wanting to do it. But you got to get up and do it, because the man don't eat, the man don't work, don't eat. And I love to eat. I got to eat something. So I ended up calling Swift on a Friday. I was just looking up some trucking companies, some of the ones I thought would be best for my interest, and just wanted to figure out. I didn't know where to get started at. I didn't want to go to no technical college, because going to a technical college back at that time is going to take you at least like 3 to 4 months. is what I was understanding. It was going to take about at least 3-4 months to go through the technical college. I was trying to do this shit as fast as I can. I would need to get on the truck now, immediately. So I was reading through some trucking companies, and I came across Swift. I didn't really know too much about Swift. I didn't know too much about the companies at all. All I know is I wanted to drive a truck. I knew about my trucks. I didn't know nothing about the company. So reading through the company, I read through. They had a recruiting service. I seen the recruiting number. I called the recruiting number, and I explained to them my interest of wanting to be a truck driver. At this time, see, I was supposed to have went to school back when I was 21, but I was late. I started back when I was 24. In this game of truck driving, the most experience you have, the better off you're going to be, the more money you're going to be prone to make. Because can't nobody bullshit you no more at that moment, at that time, at that point. When you're a rookie coming into the industry, you got that fire lit underneath your motherfucking ass. You ready to come in here. You trying to get your money. You trying to go owner operator. You got so much and everything that you trying to do. These people gonna feed off of that. We finna go ahead and use that energy. We finna go ahead and run the hell out of him. So you don't know your worth at that moment, but you get your experience. Then you can kind of start to shop around and kind of demand a little bit more money as far as like what you want with certain companies that you think that you find interesting in. But you got to get that experience first so you can understand how the game goes, because there's a lot of. I've been in the game 10 years, and it took me almost damn near every bit of my 10 years to realize how crooked the shit is out here. I was just being quite honest with you. I literally had to start all the way back over. Get to that later. However, I called Swift Recruiting Line on a Friday. I explained to them what I wanted to do. She asked me about my driving record. My driving record was superb. Everything was good with that. She said, okay, we're going to have you start in class in Atlanta, in Decatur, on Monday. So bring your birth certificate, Social Security, 3 forms of identification. So the birth certificate, your Social Security, I know it's Social Security, but that's just how I say it. Social Security, and your driver's license. All right. That Monday, I think I got up there that Sunday. You had to have your own food to eat. They're going to put you in a hotel and everything like that, but you had to have your own food to eat. And I was dead ass broke, so I brought me some ham sandwich meat, some doggone blue plate, and some bologna. Some turkey ham, stuff to make sandwiches with. Might have had a tater chip or two. I ate that for the week, but they fed us too in class. But if I remember correctly, I got up, I had to be at class by 5 or 6 o'clock that morning, and we didn't leave out till about 5 or 6 o'clock that afternoon. It was a long period, and I know within that first day, we did our drug screenings, we did our DOT physicals, we did everything that, as far as like medical wise, to make sure if you're even qualified medically to be able to get on the truck and be able to induce your job correctly. There were some people that thought they was going to be able to come in here and be a truck driver. They had high blood sugar, high blood pressure. They really couldn't see, and you got to go get these things done. You got to get these things taken care of. If you're in need of an inhaler, you have to have that inhaler with you. You got to have that on that paper. You got to have everything medically correct to your knowledge on that paper. And if it ain't something that they don't feel like, it's a real medical, because if you had asthma and you didn't have no inhaler, but you didn't have it bad enough, they wasn't going to pass you. And I ain't going to lie to you, my time is gone, so I have asthma. I have no inhaler with me, so I clicked no on it because I need to get started. So I handed in my paperwork, done my drug screening and everything I need to do on to the next course, the next level. And that's when you started learning, because you started to learn on that Monday after everything was done, after they picked through the class and they found all the best berries. They found all the best berries. They got rid of all the bad. Everybody was ready to go. Now we started learning about our general knowledge about what we finna get started doing for our new career. You did general knowledge all that day. That's going to be the longest part of the test that you're going to have to take is general knowledge. And it's literally what it is. It's general knowledge. Okay? I ain't going to get too much emphasis on that. Now, on that Tuesday, we took, on that Tuesday, we started to learn about air brakes. Air brakes all day. Air brakes all day, quick quizzes, air brakes. Same thing with the general knowledge all day Monday after everybody got picked through. Quick quizzes all day throughout Monday. Tuesday was air brakes. Wednesday, we had combinations. Combinations is the doggone connection from the tractor to the trailer. Understanding what that is. You had that all day. Combinations all day and quick quizzes. Alright? Come Thursday, you took your test. You took the test on Thursday on everything. And you couldn't miss one answer. If you missed one, you failed. Alright, because this is accelerated. You're trying to get started as quick as you can. And if you know your shit, you know your shit. It was naturally for me because I've been a truck driver ever since I've been here. I mean, talking about hooking up shit to the back of my bicycle, goat carts, you know, pulling it up, backing it up, parallel parking, offset parking. I've been doing this shit since I was young, so it came natural to me. On top of that, my granddaddy was my hero because he was a truck driver. Couldn't believe it when I was young that he actually drove truck drivers. I thought all boys and all men liked trucks. But however, you took the test on Thursday. And for everybody that passed, and we started out with a big class out there in Atlanta. It was about a class of 30 of us. By the time it was over, said and done, after everybody done took the test and the ones that was left past the test, that was getting ready to get on the bus to head out to Salt Lake City that next day on Friday, it was about 15, 12 of us. It was about 15 or 12. So, that's your first week. Your first week figuring out your general knowledge and your papers and all that stuff like that as far as going in the truck. We haven't even started to drive the truck yet. That second week, over that weekend, Friday, first of all, Friday, after we took the test and everything, the people who passed, Friday they put us on the Greyhound bus and we commuted across the United States over to Salt Lake City. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life because our bus kept breaking down. Every bus we got on kept breaking down. It took us, we were supposed to got to Salt Lake City. We left on that Friday. We supposed to have got to Salt Lake City like that Sunday morning. By the time we got to Salt Lake City, we just had a few hours to get in the bed and get a little nap before we was up and at the Salt Lake City terminal at Swift to start our week. I had no sleep. I was upset. It was so uncomfortable on that bus, but okay. Alright. That next week, that Monday, you was out there on the tarmac. Well, actually, no. The first day, that Monday, they had you in the class and you was learning about how to do the logs. They were teaching you how to do the log book. I know how to do the log book, but damn the log book. I'm a newer age truck driver. I do like old school trucks. Long nose Peterbilt. What I tried to buy, what I was purchasing, that was my dream truck. That's the type of era that I come from. It's the long noses with the pipe up the side. I love those. But you talking about paper logs? I don't like doing that. I can do one. I can show you how to do one. But I don't like doing all of that. I'd rather for the computer to configure all that up for me. I got to go. So, you're doing your logs that Monday. Taking the test on doing the logs. That Tuesday, I think either towards the end, because they only spent a little bit of time. I think they spent like half a day on that Monday about the logs. And then for the rest of the day, you was out there on the tarmac learning how to straight back. Pulling the truck up and backing it straight back. Pulling the truck up and backing it straight back. That's all you was doing for the remainder of that day. And then that Tuesday, you did half of that day of pulling the truck up and backing it back. The next part of that, after everybody, they feel like everybody done did their pull-ups and back-ups, now you're going into your parallel parking. You're parallel parking the truck and the trailer. Learning how to do that. There's another backing process that is called offset backing. So you're learning how to do that as well. And so that's the remainder of the day for Tuesday and Wednesday. Come Thursday is when people will start to take they test on backing up. I forgot something, and something very important. Very important. I apologize. Go back to when you first arrived into Salt Lake City. Early that Monday, we had to be at the DMV in Salt Lake City to get our driver's permit to drive the 18-wheelers. Because you were not going to be able to get behind the wheel of the truck unless you have a permit. So that same test of general knowledge, combination, and air brakes that we took out here in Georgia, in Atlanta, was the same exact test that you have to take out there in Salt Lake City back then when I was going to school to get your permit. The same exact test, probably worded just a little bit different, the same exact test. So you had to take that test twice. But the thing about it in Salt Lake City, because you were already there, you had about 3 times that you could take that test. But if you passed it once out here in Atlanta because you couldn't miss any of those, you should have passed that test all over again the first time you took it when you got to Salt Lake City. But that's number one. So we had to get our permits first, and then we went back to the classrooms and we started to learn how to do our logs. And then from the logs, we did the backing, and then going back up to Thursday, or what we was at. We was at Thursday. Thursday, you start to take your backing test. And that's your backing and complete straight back, your offset backing, and your parallel parking. Believe it or not, y'all, majority of the people that did not pass in that particular part, because there was a lot of us started, but with all the people that really graduated, it was just really a handful of us because too many people was having too much of a problem backing the trailer straight back. They could not back it straight back. How is it that you was able to parallel park this trailer or offset back this trailer, but you can't back it straight back? A lot of them had issues with that. Those people gave them time after time and chance after chance to try to pass that test. This one girl, she kept doubting herself, and she was doing so good, and she just could not get that trailer to go in a straight line. She failed. She failed and was back on the bus she went. A couple of other ones too. So, after that, because I think they tested you Thursday and Friday because they wanted as many, they done invested in you. They done invested time and money in you. So they want you to get in the truck to make them their money back. So they're giving you time after time. There's so many chances that you have, especially when you get out there to Salt Lake City, to be able to succeed. So, for Thursday and Friday, for all the ones that already done passed their test and stuff like that, we're chilling at the swimming pools, going out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Back then, wasn't nobody drinking or anything like that, you know, because they told you, we better not catch you at no bar. We better not catch you at no bar getting sloppy drunk and all this and other stuff. You ain't have time for that. You supposed to be out here on business. So, you know, people going out to eat, they shopped at the mall and stuff like that. You know, these are people that done passed their tests and stuff. They're ready to go to the next phase. What they got to wait on? We ready to go to the next phase. So, that next week, now they starting to take you out to the driving course. They done put you in groups. They done put you in the truck, and they taking you out to the driving course to learn how to drive a 10-speed truck. Upshift, downshift. Clutch in, clutch out. Double clutch. Like the Addams Family song, da-da-da-da, that's how you double clutch. Da-da-da-da, that's your double clutch. Clutch in, clutch out. Back in the gear. That's how they taught us how to do it. I still got that in my mind. Thinking about the Addams Family. You got the double clutch with the beat of the clap from the Addams Family to get your double clutch just right. Nowadays, all you got to do is just go in there and get in the driver's seat and roll a knob and put that bitch in drive and it's gonna go. Back then, we didn't learn how to do that, and I'm so thankful that I went ahead and went when I did go, because shortly after that, a couple of years after that, they started teaching people how to drive automatics. The best feeling in the world when you are a truck driver is when you got control over that fucking transmission. You got a lot of weight on your back. It's a little bit nerve-wracking when you're driving an automatic and you got a lot of weight on your back and you ain't got control of your transmission. You got to rely on a system that can fail. Anything can fail, but relying on a system versus your human instincts, that's something that you have to. It's something that a lot of truck drivers don't want to give up. Me, I don't care. I done driven them all. It is what it is. I do love my 10 speed. I miss the 10 speed, 12 speed. That black truck I had, the long nose Peterbilt 389, was an 18 speed. Enjoyed every last bit of that beautiful beast. Do you hear me? 565 horsepower. My bad. I was reminiscing. That's beautiful. I love that I have the memories. Things might have not worked out in the way that I wanted them to, but I have the memories that'll live on and on. And that's what's beautiful to me. They were teaching you how to upshift, downshift. That's all you did all that day on that Thursday. I mean that following Monday. That was the most hard part of it all, was learning how to drive a 10 speed, because I've never driven a stick shift before until I got in the 18-wheeler. That was my first time driving 10 speed. I still ain't never drove a stick shift car. I ain't never owned one. Ain't nobody in the family really had one for me to learn how to drive on. So I ain't never drove a manual car to this day. I'm gonna go to the store one day and get me one and drive it right on off the lot. But anyway, because I was determined, and I was the last one. I was always the last one to go, because I wanted to see how everybody else did. So I always waited up into the corner. And did everybody else go? No, Randy ain't with. Here I come up through here. It's my turn to go. Did so well on my shit. I mean, I messed up, but I didn't do as bad as everybody else. I did so good. We weren't even supposed to be on the road like that. He said, Randy, go and take us back to the terminal. You the last one driving, and your shifting has been the smoothest. Go and take us back to the terminal. That was my first time driving an 18-wheeler with a 53-foot trailer on the back down the highway. We ain't even got the highway driving yet. That was my first time. So I was nervous then. I was nervous as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment for me, because it was a typical point of my life where I was like, my dreams is actually coming through. It's coming true. And this is all I ever want to do, is drive one of these big ass trucks. Always have fascinated me. So he already knew after my little highway driving from the driving course, because it was about a good 20 miles away, the driving course they put us on, because it was out there in the middle of nowhere. And all you had was students driving trucks in this big ass fucking, excuse my language, but it was a big ass, I ain't gonna say a circle, it was a course. It was a big ass course of just upshifting and downshifting. Little hills, some tall hills, upshifting and downshifting. It was really cool. So to be able to drive back to the terminal, and everybody else in the cab was jello. They were jello, didn't care. The trainer that day, he already told me, he said, oh yeah, you good. You're gonna be good. You straight. You already know what you're doing. And I appreciate you. Thank you for noticing. It's all right. Thank you. So after that, on Tuesday, Because I think you did that 1 or 2 times, because that was really a crucial point of the training, was making sure everybody knew how to upshift and downshift. So I think we did that for at least 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to say by Tuesday or by Wednesday, now we're doing our city driving. So we went driving into Utah, Salt Lake City area. We went to driving to Salt Lake City, West Valley area. That's where you're coming, you're in traffic, you're stopping your go, the red lights, your turnings. Are you paying attention to your signs? You know what I'm saying? The clearances. Every truck at 18-wheeler with a box on the back is 13.6. You see a bridge that say 12.9, you better not try it. You better not go. You gonna peel the back off you gonna peel the top off the back of that trailer, you gonna be fucked. So 13.6, you don't even want to go underneath nothing that say 13. It's 13.6. If it ain't higher than 13.6, don't you take that damn truck underneath there. You gonna fuck something up. And I done seen it. That's all I say. I mean, I done seen it. It's crazy out there. After the highway driving, not the highway, but the city driving, you did, and I think you did that you did that on Wednesday. There was a full day of city driving. On Thursday, you did your mountain driving. Lucky for us, we was out there in the dead of summer, so we was out there hot as hell. We didn't have to deal with no salt and no sleet, snow, and ice. Thank God. We didn't have to deal with that. But I'll tell you one damn thing, when I first had to go get on that ice, it's a scary experience. I ain't gonna lie. I feel, I did what I had to do because it was my job. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And it would scare the shit out of you. So before you think you're just gonna get in behind an 18-wheeler and just gonna go out here and do what it do, make sure you know that if you don't make the right decision, you may not make it home tonight. It's dangerous. It's serious. Thursday we did the mountain driving, learning how to use your lower gears to control the truck going down the mountains with the Jake brake. You wasn't learning how to use your brake because your brakes on your truck will set ablaze. They will go up and fire when you're using too much brake. You don't need no brake like that going down the mountain, no way, if you know how to control brake and control the truck with lower gears using your Jake brake getting down the mountain. No need for smoky brakes and burnt brakes and a load gone and your life possibly gone. No need for all of that. Come that Friday, we took our driving test. Took your driving test on that Friday, and you better not, when you were turning the curve, you better not hit a curve with that trailer or you was out of here. There was your main points of, you better not hit no curve. You better be taking wide enough turns and know your angles good enough to where you don't hit no curve. Because if you hit a curve with that trailer, you come up on that curve with that trailer, you might as well go ahead and tell them folks, well, I did the best I could. I need to go ahead and pat my back because you was out of here. It's serious. Now today I might run up on a little curve here, there, and the other, but I ain't getting tested no more, so it is what it is. But you don't want to run up on no curve, especially when you're 80,000 pounds heavy, because just easily running up on the curve, you can bust a tire, mess up a rim, and now you're there. You're waiting on the roadside to come get you. Ain't nobody got time for all of that. Mind your corners. Take your turns wide. Complete the turn. Another thing. When trucks are at the intersection and they need to make a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn, it is by law, y'all, and for anybody driving a four-wheeler, you have to back up and let that truck complete the turn. The 18-wheeler cannot back up in an intersection. We cannot back up in the middle of the road, period. We can only go forward. So if we're trying to make a left or a right-hand turn, you have got to back up and let that truck complete its turn. Stop being stupid and ignorant. I don't know who that was for, but it was for whoever that pissed me off not too long ago to distribute me on that bullshit. But however, you got tested on that Friday. If you passed it through, you was good. You was good. That following Monday, they had you set because they already knew. Like I said, when you done passed your test that Friday, I took mine early. I got my shit over with. I was at the mall at the food court, enjoying myself. So I already knew by the end of Friday that I had a trainer come Monday. They told me at the end of Friday, they told the people that already passed earlier that day who their trainers were going to be for the following week and to go ahead and get plenty of sleep and plenty of rest because they were going to be on the trainer's truck. So there you go right there. That was training in Salt Lake City right there. It took you, I want to say we was in Salt Lake City for like 2 weeks. I feel like we was in Salt Lake City for 2 weeks. It wasn't just a week. So all of that I just said, and I put it all in the week, put an extra day behind or extra day or two behind all of that, and that following week we took the test on Friday. Because we was in Salt Lake City at least a week. That following week, that third week, that Monday, the people that passed their test on that Friday, we was on our trainer truck, and you stayed on your trainer truck for at least a minimum of 4 weeks. So this still took you about 2.5 months to complete. For me, I was on my trainer truck because I was trying to drive that truck as much as I could because Hugh was on my damn nerves so bad. I got my shit done, me and my homie Big Brandon. We was the first ones at the damn terminal. We got done as soon as we could because both of us had some irritating ass trainers. Hugh, if you ever see this video, I appreciate you. You were very good at what you did. Thank you so much. You did teach me how to drive that truck, but you talked entirely too much and got on my last damn nerve. So, but I like you. You were cool. But, after getting off of your trainer's truck, and I was on his truck for 3 weeks. I got all my driving down, everything I needed. I went ahead and got that over with. You would then call back to the terminal, which was my home terminal was in Decatur. You call back to the terminal to upgrade. To upgrade means you are now on your own personal truck. You're finna start doing your own thing. You're finna start making, no, you're not finna start making trainee pay no more. You're finna start making truck driving pay. Got back to the terminal. Hey, how's it going? Got back to the terminal. I upgraded. I actually had the opportunity to pick a certain truck that I want, and I actually ended up driving a Peterbilt. It was a short nose. I forget that name, that number of that truck, but it was a slope nose gray. At the time, it was a central refrigerated trailer, a central refrigerated truck. And if this video goes on YouTube, I'll put a picture right here to show you what I'm talking about because I still got a picture of her. Her name was Gracie. Loved that truck. It was just crazy because I love Peterbilt. Peterbilt is my favorite brand, favorite make and model of truck. And so for my first truck coming out the starting gate to be one, I really did feel grand. I really did feel grand. I felt real good about things. I felt real good about myself. I felt really, really grand. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing about that is you're at 62 miles an hour when you're driving for Swift. 62 miles an hour. Back then, I think they probably done went up to 65. I'm not sure. But at the time, it was 62 miles an hour. And so I crisscrossed the United States because I was obligated now because I owed them about, what was it? The contract or whatever the fuck that was, like when I agreed to be with them, I agreed to work with them for at least 2 or 3 years or whatever to pay off my schooling debt because the schooling debt back then was like anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 or something like that. I paid it off and I still stayed a little longer. I think I paid off my debt within the first 2 years because within the first 2 years already, within the first year period, I had already been to all 48 states. I've been to every state in the United States other than Alaska and Hawaii. Never been to Alaska. So, I did all of that within the first year. And I was moving and grooving. Paid them their money right on back until I realized that, okay, it's time for me to move on along, go find something else to do. And so then I started to move around to other companies and try to find my niche with these other companies, because now I started to accumulate the experience underneath my belt and to realize I wasn't getting paid the way that I felt like I should be getting paid because of the work that I was doing. All right, I done made it to the terminal. Let me see. I got to find me my parking spot at. Folks be coming in here knowing I'm coming to work. I be parking a certain type of way. They want to park over here. Well, it is only so many parking spots, y'all. And see, I like to go ahead and back up in here so I can get on out of here. I try not to park around nobody too. That's my main thing. I don't like to park around nobody because people be running you over. Not running you over, but they'll open their car door up on you quick. And that's another situation. Alright. I'm in there. We alright. So, I'm let my window out. Let my window up because one of the drivers is out here on his phone. He got a boot on his foot. He messed his foot up or something like that, and at least they're giving him the opportunity to come to work to make some money or whatever, because he just comes to work and he just sit here, I guess, until that foot heal. But anyway, that ain't none of my business. So I don't even know who that man is. At the end of this long story, it was just a quick little ride as far as telling y'all like how I started off. To wrap this up, things may be different now. Things may be different than it was back when I started truck driving. Back then, you had to go over the road. It was important that you got your experience. You had to go over the road to get that experience to even start to somewhat make better money. They wasn't offering me back then any local or dedicated or region positions. I had no choice but to go over the road until I was able to pay these people back for the schooling they invested me in. When I did have a good group of friends in the trucking industry that I hung around, some of these people hadn't been in the industry as long as I was, but they were already doing a lot better than I was, maybe because of the location that they live. Because if you don't live in a certain location, you also have to look at, are you going to be willing to relocate to make more money? Because if you live in a small town like me, the closest that I can get to is where my company is right now in Villa Rica, and that's a local company. I haul cement right now for a local company, J&M, but it's a good gig. But for somebody that had dreams as big as mine and tried to purchase a top of the line 18-wheeler 589 Peterbilt 2018, $186,000 truck from what I felt at that time was some crookish activities from a company in Freestyle, but where I lost a lot of money with. From trying to come back from that, and I mean, there was plenty of times when I was trying to pay for that truck, Well, I ain't gonna say plenty of times. There was this one time when I was trying to pay for that truck. That was after the whole bombing when Putin went and bombed, and now they they messed up the oil and stuff like that. The fuel went skyrocketed. Like there was a time that I was literally only being able to pay for my truck note, insurance, bobtail insurance, cargo insurance, my rent, my lights, and my water, my car note. And all this was a lot. I was able to take care of things that I need to take care of, and if it wasn't for my mom, my car probably would have been gone a long time ago. So there were times that when I was trying my best to gain this truck and start my business and be able to start it with my dream truck that I've always wanted, was all I was seeing. I was willing to kill myself, run myself through the ground to get it. There would be days, I went 3 months straight with just doing that, barely eating. I didn't know where my next Krabby Patty was coming from. It was a sacrifice that I was willing to do to try to purchase that truck and what I really wanted. I realized that the price was too high. I realized that the company didn't have my best interest at heart. Because after it came down to it, my boss at that time, I told him the truck that I wanted. He went and bought it, and I was buying the truck back from him. So I'm buying the truck back from you, and I'm also working for you. So you're getting money off of me for loads that I'm taking for you, and also getting money off of me for your truck note and everything like that. It was like a double or triple dipping in the whole situation that I had going on with Freestyle. It really, really messed me up. Really, emotionally, physically, financially, it destroyed me. I'm just keeping it a buck. In the process of me walking away from the lease back in 2022, because I think that's when it was. Now, remind you, this was like 3 months. I've been working. I've worked at least 3 months straight and had no money. No money. Like, I don't even know how I was eating. I think a lot of the times I was surviving off of my Love's points. Love's points is for every gallon or every 50 gallons that you purchase at the Love's truck stop. The more fuel, the most, man, I be getting tongue tied because I be having so much to say at one time. The more times you fuel up at Love's, the more points you accumulate, and with those points, you can use those points as if it's a dollar amount, and you can use those points to survive off the food that's inside of the truck stop when you don't have any money. I did a lot of that because all we shop at is Love's. All I shop at is Love's. Shortly after me walking away from the lease, my dad died. And so I was in and out, I was trying to work, because he was in and out of the hospital, and I was trying to work, but also, I was needing to I would get out to Washington, but need to come right back. And so there would be times I couldn't work because I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't go too far. I was over the road truck driver. I couldn't go too far, and they needed me to run. They needed me to run as much as I could because I have a $186,000 truck that I have to pay for. What's up, y'all? So I'm just cutting in here right quick to give a little bit more in-depth information about this particular part in the video when I said all they wanted me to do is run, run, run. Well, I had walked away from the lease, and shortly after that, my dad passed away. When I came back to work, they were wanting me to continue to run. They want me to run this as hard as I was when I walked away from the lease because my truck accumulated shop bills. See, my boss at the time, instead of him going and getting a brand new truck like we asked him to, he went and spent $180 something thousand on a truck from the auction. So buying that truck from the auction, even though I loved that truck for everything it was worth, even if buying that truck at the auction, that truck had, ain't no telling how long it sat. You know what I'm saying? You know, it sat up for a while. It had algae in the lines. I kept having to take it to the shop because it had algae in the lines. So there's a lot of other things that was going on with the truck that could have been fixed that I felt like would have been, you know, somebody's probably driving that truck down to this day and ain't nothing wrong with it because I actually had the money to fix it up. My boss at the time paid for these shop bills. I may have paid for a few things, but most of the time my boss at the time paid for the shop bills because I was still paying him for the vehicle. Well, when I walked away from the lease, the shop bills were just adding on to what I owe for the truck anyway. So by me walking away from the lease, it still left me with a debt to my boss at the time around, you know, probably about $6,000-7,000 for shop bills. So even though I was in a loaner truck, a different truck, I was still having to pay as much as I can to try to get caught up on the shop bills. So getting caught up on the shop bills, with that, it also was putting me behind with other bills as far as my rent and insurance and lights and stuff like that. Like, it really got really tough. It got really tough. So I just wanted to slide that in right here. Y'all please, you know, like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Well, not to the video, but to the channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, back to the video. Needed me to run as much as I could. Run, 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 run. My dad is dying. So there was a time like dealing with him, you know, and his passing is the most important part of his life, any of our lives. I was out of work for another 2.5, 3 months or something like that, seemed like. At least it was probably about another month or two because I was still with Freestyle, and I tried to go back to work. But when I tried to go back to work, me and my boss ended up getting into a heated argument because I'm fresh back on the truck after putting my dad in the ground, and because I buried him and I tried to go back to work within that next week or two. And he came popping his gums at me with some foolishness. And me and Serge done had a couple damn. Me and him had a couple damn words that we done. Because he ain't nothing. My boss at that time wasn't nothing. I'm 33 now, and at the time I was 32. He was 34. So what that makes him 36, something like that. So you know he's not that much older than me. And he thought that he was going to little boy me or talk to me anytime, any type of way that he wanted to talk to me. And so there's been plenty of times that I had to let this motherfucker know, look, I don't give a fuck who you think you are. You're not going to talk to me any type of motherfucking way. At the end of the day, I'm a man. You respect me as much as I give you the motherfucking respect as such. Don't disrespect me. If you want to get something across, there's a way of getting that across to me. Especially so dealing with somebody with me, like me, that gives the utmost respect to anybody that I come across. I got tired of that, and he thought that he was going to do that shit again, fresh from the funeral. He thought he was going to do that shit again, and I let his ass have it. I was in Memphis. I let his ass have it because I was on my way to Washington. I might have turned that motherfucking truck around, excuse my French. It was still loaded up, and I brought it back to Carrollton County. I parked that bitch in Bowden, and he had to have somebody to get on the plane to come get it. I have quit. I was out of work for 3 months. I had to run up a credit card bill. I had to run up a loan bill. I had to run up some bills off of my credit to be able to survive. And I sat there in my house trying to figure out what my next move was, while not even really having a real grieving process for my dad. Because I'm trying to figure out, all I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about him, but things that I'm thinking about now, I done quit my job, how I'm going to pay, I done ran up this tab, I done ran up all these bills, and I'm looking on Indeed. I'm trying to find something, but everything that's coming through is over the road, and I'm not doing over the road anymore because God forbid I get back over the road and I have to come back and I might not make it back this time. First of all, my body just would not let me go back over the road. My body does not want me to go back over the road right now at this moment. I've done so much of it. I've been driving for 10 years. But I'm giving you this story for people that want to come out here into the trucking industry. It's not all that glitters is gold, because there's sacrifices that people have to go through, and there's things that goes on in people's life that you have to deal with, and there's all these kind of different things. So you have to really be prepared if this is a career that you want to step into. You really have to be prepared. There's a lot of people out there that's not built for this shit. That's the only way I can put it. You think you are, but you are not built for this shit. I could go back to the warehouse. I could find a different profession. Something that might can help me get myself out of the hole quicker. But what I do best, and what I love to do, is drive 18-wheeler. I eat, sleep, and breathe this shit. It's a lifestyle. I guess my microphone is going dead. Why is it flashing like that? Okay. Can y'all hear me? Well, whoever visiting, let me know if you can hear me. Did y'all hear anything I said? Because my microphone was down low. Could anybody hear anything I done said? Let me know. Just tell me yes so I can go ahead and get out the truck so I can go get ready to go get in, because that's pretty much everything I need to say anyway. Hopefully it recorded that y'all could hear me, because the microphone was flashing. Alright, well, I'll play back and see what's going on. Y'all have a good day. Hopefully this video was able to, I was able to help somebody out. I got to go back and figure out if there was any audio, because I don't know what was just going on just then. Hopefully it was. I hope I didn't just sit here and just spill everything like that and nobody was able to hear. So, until then, if I have to remake a video about truck driving, because I keep getting messages here, there, and other about truck driving, I just have to redo this one. This one got messed up. Y'all have a good day. I got to get started.